So it wasn't until moving to Grand Rapids and then staying here for most of the time that kind of just decided to branch out, get to know people, socialize more. And it's been a lot healthier, doing that.
Good. Hey, you! Here's an awesome story from our archives. This is the People's Podcast, too. I'm the Y guy, and you are our Y.
I think in some type of way, I struggle a little bit every day.
I just pray and then put my effort into whatever thing I want to put it into.
Communication is the key to success. I mean, that's what they say.
Absolutely. Yeah, unity is so important.
You are our Y. Hey, everybody, this is the Y guy. We're in Grand Rapids, Michigan on a beautiful smoky day, and we're here with
Karl, blessing.
Carl. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. I saw you flying your drone around, taking some awesome panoramics. How long have you been into that?
I've been doing that for about maybe 2.5, 3 years or so.
Okay. And,
still working on the commercial license to actually do that professionally, but I've been doing photography for about 20, so
oh wow,
trying to get it ready to go up in the air and do it that way too.
yeah, with on planes and stuff, or just with drones?
But it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of video, do a lot of photos, and nowadays a lot of people want to see stuff from the air. Traditionally not something people could usually do, so it's very exciting for a lot of people to be able to see that.
Yeah, you showed me some pictures that you just did. That was some sweet stuff. Even just on ground photography you just showed me was some mind-blowing photography. So I tell you can definitely have an eye for it, and that's awesome stuff too. I love photography, so it's that's how you earn a living, I'd assume. And are you from Grand Rapids?
I'm from Grand Rapids. I'm born in Flint, but spent most of my adult life in Grand Rapids.
Okay. Oh, why do you choose here?
What's up?
Why do you choose to stick around here?
Mostly cost.
Yeah.
Because it costs money to move. And
yeah, it
usually,
does.
But Grand Rapids is very accessible. So it's kind of hard to leave a city when you kind of know it so well. And it is getting more expensive every year, but like I said, it's hard to leave when you know it.
Yep, I'm completely with you there. And then when you do leave, it's like, well, I don't know nothing. So
right.
It's like, that sucks. Right. So, you photography, and what got you into photography, or why'd you choose that path?
Well, that's I used to be a web developer, so I was a software engineer back in like 2000. And the only reason I even bothered looking at it, I wasn't really considered a creative person. So my boss at that company got a camera, showing it off, and then I was like, well, I'll go get a better camera. And he was showing that off, and he goes and gets a better camera, and I'm thinking, well, I can't afford a better camera, so I guess I just got to shoot better.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, doing that, I spent maybe about 10 years working with cameras that were either inexpensive or old or used, and just getting really good pictures out of them, just because if you know how to use it, you can pretty much use anything that's like 20, 30 years old and still get impressive stuff.
Yeah, that's the best thing. I mean, that can be even translated to anything, really. If you just use it, the more often you use it, the better you're going to get. So it doesn't need to be perfect.
I used to work at the Camera Center down in East Town before they went out of business in 2008, and then pretty much shot everything from a little Minox spy camera up to like a 5x7 Linhawk, which is like that big folding camera that you put on a tripod. Because I even shot Gerald R. Ford's funeral coming down East Town with a big Crown Graphic field camera. So you had the sheet film and everything. I'm pretty sure Secret Service were looking at me on the roof of the building with this, big ass camera up there.
Oh man, coming after you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I could see them sitting around because I shot the old 4x5 negatives, and then when you blow it up, you can see all the audience, everybody with a camera phone as the funeral procession comes down.
Yeah.
So it's like 100-year-old technology taking a picture of everybody on their phones.
Well, that's pretty awesome, man. Do you think that your story, through everything that you've been through, could make an impact on somebody else's life?
It already has for quite a few people.
Awesome.
Mostly people who've been wanting to get into photography or computer in general. Because usually I'll try to offer my services to at least train some people who are struggling a little bit and getting started.
Man, that's awesome. That's the best answer you could give, that you're already working and developing other people through what you've been through.
Well, a lot of my stuff has been donated to me, and it's quite a bit of help, especially with the people at the schools and so forth. So I'm just trying to pass that on, because I don't know, maybe that'll come around, but if it doesn't, that's not really anything I need to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's even just to be able to give your skill set to somebody else is enough to pass it on. You don't need
Right. I mean, everybody's real competitive nowadays, but I don't know everything. Somebody else doesn't know everything, but we all have different perspectives. Especially when I was going to school in the 30s, me being in my 30s, you have everybody that's fresh out of high school. They know nothing about photography, but they're going to come up with stuff that I hadn't even thought of.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of help them to give them the background, and they might teach me a thing or two.
Okay, yeah, working together. That's what we're talking about. You and I together. I mean, that's really what you just said is really the moral of us doing together. The squirrel.
Watching a tailless squirrel over there.
It's usually way over there, so it must be
around,
chasing this guy. That's funny. Have you dealt with any struggle in your path?
Well, I'm severe to profound deaf. I don't know if you know that the hearing aid.
Okay.
So pretty much a bit of that.
Okay.
It's not easy growing up as a deaf kid. So mostly learning lip reading and whatnot. You probably notice kind of an accent, and mostly from speech therapy and stuff like that.
Man, that's impressive. When you were real young, could you even speak?
I didn't talk until I was about 5. They didn't know how that I was hard of hearing. They just figured, hey, some kids don't speak until they're older. We grew up in the military, so the military doctors are just like, give us some time. They don't, always talk. It wasn't until my grandmother, when we were visiting, took me to the U.N.I.T.Y clinic, and they did some testing. Found out I could understand that of a 6-year-old, but I could only communicate that of like a 1-year-old.
Wow.
So they did a hearing test, and it's like, well, that's why.
Man, that's awesome. I mean, that's in growing through that, I'm sure you've went through some rough patches of like, why is this going on or whatnot. So like, what's something that helped you just like, this is just who I am and I'm moving forward right now?
That's kind of hard growing up. It's mostly the stigma around someone being hard of hearing or deaf is that it's a mental issue and not a communication issue. So as a child, I was doing very well academically. I guess probably out of a point to prove that I am not stupid.
Yeah.
But that's the stigma, though. It's just a communication barrier. It's like someone learning English as a second language. They might sound unintelligent to somebody, but that's just a communication. They could be a nuclear physicist for all you know. They just can't communicate that in your native language.
Yeah. Man, that was good too. And what's something, or maybe even just to get to where you are now and speaking, I mean, you just have a different maybe like accent with your speaking, but I would never have guessed that you once were deaf and couldn't talk. What was something to keep you, or how long did it get to where you're at now and keep moving forward with that?
That's kind of hard to say. I mean, I was speaking, by 6, 7 years old.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha.
But I had to work on my speech a lot and everything. But yeah, it's mostly just social stigma, the usual bullying and stuff like that.
Okay, I got you. And overcoming that, was that just through time you just got over it and people never gave up on it, or what?
Kind of less caring about it.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't until getting out of high school and then getting into adult life and so forth, and then going to college is kind of get a different perspective on it. You find that people are a little more tolerant about it, or at least more curious than being more cruel about it.
Yep, I get you there, man. That's awesome. Well, thank you for breaking into that too, because there's going to be a lot of people that are in maybe the same shoes, or just maybe you got bullied in school for something different, and that need to hear that there's a lot of courage and just keep persevering and not letting it be the noise that's the only noise you hear. So thank you so much, Karl, for breaking into that. And do you think that communication is, there's power in communication, held in communication?
A lot of people just need to be able to hear it sometimes. Like I am part of the LGBT community too, and a lot of people, you don't notice that just looking at me, because it's not something you see. Just like someone saying, oh, you don't look deaf. But a lot of people who are keeping to themselves, kind of just wallowing in that pain, they usually just need to see someone out and about, and they're like, oh, I can be that way, I don't have to feel this way. If he can do it, I can do it, that kind of thing.
I got you.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. That's communication is what we think is one of the biggest things that's missed in a lot of ways too.
Yeah,
so
kind of like a little TED talk, but on the street.
Yeah, I got you. So, do you think unity right now is a message? Could be a strong message to be given? I mean, to to open up relationships in our culture or anywhere it reaches?
I would think so. I mean, I feel like we're heading more towards an isolationist type of culture, and that can be very damaging. It makes it a lot more, I should say, it makes it easier for people to dehumanize others that they don't understand if they don't have that unity. Because the more isolated they are in their own worldview, they're not going to understand how they're hurting others.
Mm-hmm. I get that too. I appreciate opening up about that. Did you feel like maybe when you were in the midst of growing up through people bullying you and whatnot, that you were kind of isolated in your own and not wanting to communicate with people?
Mostly during my teen years, kind of kept to myself, on the computer a lot.
Okay.
Internet was just coming out around then.
Yeah.
So it made it a lot easier to isolate. Since I moved maybe about 45 times in my life, it wasn't really something to make lifelong friends because you're always moving like every 2-3 years. So it wasn't until moving to Grand Rapids and then staying here for most of the time that kind of just decided to branch out, get to know people, socialize more. And it's been a lot healthier, doing that.
Good deal. I love that message too, because that's right at the end, and that's what we need. It's a socialization, getting in the community, and just sharing your story with other people. So I really appreciate you doing that with me, Karl, and opening up about the things that maybe not talked to people about too often, but the things that help us relate with everybody the more it gets. So thanks for your story. I appreciate it. Mind if I get a hug from you? Thank you, Karl. Appreciate it, bud. Thank you for watching this interview. We hope and pray that this story could help you, encourage you, or inspire you to take action in any way. We challenge you to see yourself in every interviewee, and we challenge you to get out and talk to one new person every single day. If this impacted your life in any way, please like, share, and subscribe. We're posting one new video every single day, Monday through Saturday. Thank you so much for your time. This is the People's Podcast. We're praying for you always.
Man, that's deep.